So this is the first in a series of videos about the Tempelhofer airfield in Berlin. And this first episode in the series is about skylarks. And it's the main reason why I went to the Tempelhofer, because there is a lot of skylarks on the Feld. And in the commentary filmed on Blackheath, in between all the video footage made on the Tempelhofer Feld, are some thoughts about Blackheath. For there are no skylarks on Blackheath anymore. So each morning at dawn, I'd arrive at the Tempelhofer Feld. So I'm here at the Tempelhofer Feld, which is actually the Tempelhof airfield. Historically quite famous for the Berlin Air Bridge getting food to West Berliners. I can't remember exactly, but the airport closed down in, I think, the middle of the 90s. And there was a campaign to keep it from being built on and to keep this open space, which is all the grass between the runways, for the public and for wildlife. And it's absolutely full of skylarks. Well, I've come to see skylarks, and there's a lot of skylarks. They're everywhere. I must have seen, just in the first 5 minutes walking, about 30. I've done about 2% of Tempelhof. I'm surrounded by skylarks. Bird protection. So in the winter you can walk straight through the middle. But in the summertime, it's blocked off to protect the skylarks. So what was interesting when I was on the Tempelhofer Feld is actually the skylarks were quite approachable. Even the areas where they weren't protected. They were on the runways and you could walk quite close to them. They're actually in the open mosaic habitat, which will feature in another episode. And perhaps, if we could protect some areas on Blackheath, skylarks would come back to breed and get acclimatised to people too. But it doesn't actually say how many pairs of skylarks nest here. But it does say that actually Tempelhofer Feld is a very important place for them, that actually skylarks are endangered in Middle Europe. Yeah, well, their populations have collapsed all over Europe because of intensive agriculture. And there's nothing intensive agriculture about the Tempelhofer Feld. As we said, the Tempelhofer Feld is a lot larger than Blackheath. It's about 355 hectares, which makes it the largest open green space in the world in an urban area. Now, I know that there were skylarks on Blackheath because I read a blog in the Blackheath Bugle about a man who wrote back in the 1950s, sitting on the grass on hot summer days, watching the then numerous skylarks hovering and twittering before they dived earthwards. A wonderful sight. Blackheath is about 110 hectares and the areas along grass about 20 hectares. So we'd never have as many skylarks as they do at the Tempelhofer Feld, but I'm sure we would have quite a few. Now, I do see skylarks in the winter on Blackheath very occasionally. In fact, the last one I saw was here, where I'm sitting now. And there are skylarks nesting over at the city airport as well. But if we could temporarily protect the long grass areas on Blackheath, perhaps skylarks would stay, breed, and we too could listen to them singing high in the sky above the heath and then tumbling down back to ground into the long grass. Wouldn't that be wonderful?